Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Cooking with Moocake show. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to cook a really terrible YouTuber. So first off, what you're going to need is a real healthy dose of Onision. You're going to take a lot of Onision, throw them into the pot, and next you're going to need a couple tablespoons of rice scum. Just 1 or 2 tablespoons, stick that in with good old Onision. Next, you're going to need maybe a dash of Daily Vlogger, throw a bit of Daily Vlogger in there, and then finally, you're going to need a very healthy dose of weeaboo. Take a fair amount of weeaboo, throw that in with it all, mix it together, and boom, you will get Hiding in My Room.
It's been about 3 months since I separated with my wife.
Hiding in My Room is a YouTube channel with about 88,000 subscribers, and it's run by a man called Daniel. No, not this Daniel, this Daniel. Daniel himself has a tendency to treat his channel like a video diary of sorts. He tends to vlog his feelings, his opinions, and his day-to-day life. And on paper, this sounds perfectly fine, but much like Onision, everyone's favourite cuck, Daniel has a habit of oversharing things.
There was this one time when this Japanese girl was sleeping on my shoulder, a complete stranger, and after she got up, I noticed there was this wet patch on my shoulder. She had drooled on my shoulder, there was saliva on my shoulder, and it was really arousing. I wasn't complaining though, I really enjoyed it, and she smelt amazing, especially the saliva.
What? Daniel's videos are pretty much all structured in exactly the same way. He sits in an unkempt room, usually on the floor, and proceeds to rant unscripted for maybe 10 minutes about an opinion or a problem that's really ticking him off, and then he cobbles it together in editing, and let me tell you, his editing isn't all that great either, actually.
Hey.
And usually, I really wouldn't care about channels like this. They don't really bother me. There's hundreds, if not thousands of channels very similar to this one that are all just as equally terrible and unstructured as Hiding in My Room. What really caught my attention with Daniel here, though, is the things he tends to discuss. And let me tell you, some of it is just plain bizarre. And what isn't bizarre is really creepy.
Hey, so it's been a few days since we got married. I am officially married right now.
Yes, believe it or not, this strange, dishevelled human being actually managed to get married, and I'm still uncertain how he managed to do it. It's a very popular topic on his channel, though. I would wager that about 75% of all his videos discuss or at least mention his failed marriage. The two lovebirds allegedly met on Tinder, which is already a massive red flag right from the get-go. You don't use Tinder to look for a loving relationship. I would have thought that was obvious. After hastily signing some marriage papers and promptly moving in with each other, Mr. and Mrs. Degenerate's marriage only lasted about a year before it completely fell through the floor. And you can actually slowly watch this marriage deteriorate over the course of a year on Daniel's YouTube channel. Now, YouTube is no stranger to weird vlogs, Logan Paul being the optimum case of a sketchy vlog, but this is just weird. Who in their right mind would vlog their own marriage slowly falling apart? I mean, he even went as far as to vlog getting his divorce papers, and you don't need me to tell you how bizarre that is, but then again, this is the same man that has ranked all of his ex-girlfriends in a tier list, so were you expecting any better?
Hey, so I want to talk about why I regretted getting married. Now, when I was married, obviously I couldn't talk about this because my wife would have been pretty upset if she heard me say these things.
The way I've described this man's attitude towards his ex-wife is bipolar. They only lasted about a year, and Daniel here spent most of that year complaining about his wife on YouTube, of all places. Marriage counselling? Nah, you don't need marriage counselling. Just bitch about her online to an audience of 88,000 people. That'll work fine. And then, shortly after separating and, as far as I'm aware, divorcing, Daniel comes out with a video claiming that he now misses his wife. Like, it's more convoluted than the new Game of Thrones episodes.
Sometimes people ask me if I miss her, and the honest answer is a little bit. Yes. I just miss simple things like that. Sitting in front of the TV, watching something, cuddling, enjoying each other's company, having a bath together.
If you want my opinion, there is only one reason why Daniel would even make this video, and that's because he's begging for sympathy. That's entirely it. He spent an entire year complaining about his wife online to the entire internet, and then he proceeded to botch his own marriage, and then all of a sudden he misses her? No, sorry, I'm just not buying that. Call me a skeptic if you want, but that's just not how it works. Stop complaining and stop looking for my sympathy. It's not going to work. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering what led to this wonderful, budding marriage between a psychopath and an idiot. I'm sure you're all wondering what led to it breaking down. Well, apparently, according to Discount Onision here, the final nail in the coffin for their marriage was an SD card that his wife found, which apparently contained a load of, shall we say, unsavoury images.
Well, there were two things my wife screenshotted and then sent to me, asking me what they were. And the first one was a screenshot of a Skype video call that me and some other girl were having. And in the screenshot, it was a screenshot of us, how can I put this? Showing each other our lady parts and our boy parts. Was a video of me and a girl in a hotel after we had finished our business. The rest of it was just mainly nudes that generous ladies sent to me.
So, not only is this man insane, but he's completely brain dead. You got married and you kept an SD card full of nudes and videos, some of which you'd gotten while you were married, and you kept those. That's like keeping a folder full of evidence confirming that you murdered someone. You complete fool. Of course, even without the help of this SD card, their marriage would have likely gone down the metaphorical U-bend anyway. According to this video here, Daniel not only cheated on his wife, but his wife also cheated on him.
Anyway, we were having a big argument and I was feeling upset, emotional, depressed, kind of horny, and I turned to the only person who I could turn to at that time, and that was Tomoko. And I sent her some inappropriate messages. We never had serial again, we never met up. We just spoke to each other for maybe a week or two, on and off. Let's not forget that my wife also did pretty much the same thing to me.
So essentially, this marriage was completely unhealthy right from the very start. And what I still fail to understand is why you are making all of this public on the internet. Now, following his divorce and his pathetic video in which he claims that he actually misses his wife, Daniel proceeds to go on a series of dates, and of course, he vlogs and complains about these dates as well. And this one in particular, a vlog with some Turkish girl, is in my opinion the perfect insight into Daniel's extremely high standards.
Okay, so firstly, she messaged me on Instagram after I made the looking for a girlfriend video.
Oh God, you made a YouTube video asking for a girlfriend? That's even worse than looking for a wife on Tinder.
I'm not very cheerful and chipper in the morning. So I wake up in the morning and turn on my laptop and I check YouTube and I check the internet, go on Discord, check my YouTube analytics, and then I play some Rainbow Six. That's just what I do. So what would happen is we'd wake up in the morning, I'd go onto my laptop and I wouldn't really say much to her and she didn't really say much to me. And then on the third day, she got a bit upset with this and I was on my laptop and then she came over to me and then she stopped me from using my laptop.
Wait, right? You're telling me that this woman flew all the way from Turkey to Germany just to see your pathetic self, and you had the audacity to pretty much ignore her by going on your phone and playing Rainbow Six on your stupid laptop, and you wonder why she's annoyed at you? How entitled and dense can you be?
If I didn't have my laptop, I would just sit there staring at the wall or out the window.
Hey ladies, this absolute alpha male here is looking for a girlfriend, by the way. Are you interested in being ignored while he stares at the wall? Shortly after ghosting this woman from Turkey, Daniel here proceeds to go on a date with a woman from Essex, but apparently that went completely terribly as well, because shortly after this, he puts up a video claiming that he's giving up on women. And much like the video where he claims to miss his wife, it's just a grab for sympathy.
When I look back at my past relationships and all of the dates that I've been on in the past, I didn't feel attracted to any of them. Sure, some of them were quite pretty, some of them had big boobs.
Oh yes, by the way, probably a good time to mention that this man is 30 years old, despite looking and sounding like a 12-year-old.
A lot of people ask me, Daniel, what kind of girls do you like? Give us an example. So here's an example of a girl that I find very attractive, and I think her face is...
Wait a minute. Is it just me? Or does this dream woman look remarkably like Daniel's ex-wife? The woman he complained about for an entire year on the internet? What kind of sympathy plea is this exactly? Honestly, at this point, I'm half expecting Daniel to make a video telling us that he's now gay. Hiding in my room, more like hiding in the closet, in my opinion.
And I'm also starting to think that maybe using my YouTube channel to try and find a serious relationship or a girlfriend isn't really a great idea. So I'm going to be closing down my girlfriend applications.
Your what? Your girlfriend application? What the fuck?
I bought myself something. Let's just say that it's probably the next best thing to a real woman.
He bought a sex doll. He bought he's a weeaboo. He's a fucking weeaboo.
Let's just say my new toy has a very nice figure.
No, I'm done. Please shut up. Please just sew your mouth shut, you freaky human being.
The problem is my reputation isn't that great, and there's a lot of people smearing my name.
No, I'm going to stop you right there, actually. It's not other people smearing your name and reputation. It's you. You yourself have single-handedly destroyed your own reputation. And any woman that looks at your channel and has a working brain cell will likely be terrified, as it quite perfectly shows off the worst side of you. And if you couple that with your extremely high standards, you're not getting lucky anytime soon. Now, like I said at the start of this video, about 75% of the videos on Daniel's pathetic YouTube channel are either about his ex-wife, his failed marriage, or his equally abysmal love life. So, when he's not talking about these, what is he discussing?
Call me a leech? What an idiot. How dare you?
Well, someone's lost their temper. He sounds like an angry child that's been told to stop playing Fortnite. Now, this all came about when Daniel was called a leech because he doesn't have a job and he apparently lives off his wife's income. Or rather, he did.
There are ads on my videos. I get money from the ads on my videos. I make more money than my wife does, and she has 2 jobs. If anything, she's the leech.
Now, I will give Daniel one point here, and I assure you it's the only point I'm going to give him, but I do also agree that YouTube is a real job. It does actually pay, and granted it's not exactly a normal job, but it is a job nonetheless. However, it is a very different calibre of job to, let's say, a 9 to 5. You don't have to get up in the morning, you can choose your own hours. Hell, most of the time, you don't even have to leave your own house. So, it's a job, yes, but it's a very nice job. Much nicer than your ex-wife's 2 jobs that she's working at once. You didn't consider helping her out with that? No? Alright, you just sit in your room, you unwashed freak. It's also worth mentioning that Daniel states multiple times in this video that he's making very good money off YouTube and that he's perfectly financially stable. So, why the hell has he got a Patreon? And more importantly, why is one of the rewards on his Patreon pictures of his ex-girlfriends? That's just narcissistic.
Some people say that YouTube isn't a job. They say that it's not a real job, it's not a proper job. And I guess to some extent that is true. It's not a traditional job. It's not a job where you go into a workplace and then you work a set amount of hours and then you get paid at the end of the day or the end of the month and you don't get employed by a company. It's not the same as a traditional job. But I disagree that it's not a job. I think it is a job.
Don't get me wrong, Daniel. YouTube is most definitely a real job. You're just not very good at it. Of course, Daniel doesn't really help his case here. He's made multiple videos in the past explaining why he quit jobs and explaining that he didn't like them for one reason or another. Nobody likes their job, Daniel. I've never met anyone that's thrilled to work in a 9 to 5. If you couple this with the fact that Daniel constantly states that he's lazy and doesn't like responsibility, it gives off the impression that he firmly believes that no job is good enough for him. It appears that his attitudes towards jobs and women are very similar because in this case as well, he's incredibly entitled and his standards are through the roof. Essentially, this guy has got an extremely high opinion of himself, and that's why I refer to him as Discount Onision, because when you break it down, there's actually quite a few parallels between these two degenerates. Daniel here has got an extremely high opinion of himself, and on the rare occasion that he admits he's wrong, he doesn't attempt to rectify it, and he doesn't really take responsibility for it either. To finish off, I'd like to show you the best example I could find of Daniel's unhealthily large ego. It comes from a video called List of Reasons Why I'm an Awful Human Being. And when I initially saw this video, I thought it was going to be a YouTube apology style video. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm a terrible person. Please forgive me. Please feel sorry for me. Like and subscribe. However, in reality, this video is actually the polar opposite of that, and it shows off just perfectly how massively bloated Daniel's ego has become.
Number one, I quite enjoy stealing. I don't do it anymore, and I did this several times, and I never got caught, which kind of makes you wonder, what's the point of having those alarm systems if they don't actually do anything? I really wanted to buy this little spoon, which looked quite nice. I wanted to buy it for my ex-Korean girlfriend, but there was this massive queue of people queuing up, and I really didn't want to stand there waiting to queue up, so I just took the spoon and I slipped it into my pocket. Number two, I've cheated on several partners in the past several times, and this is mainly because I just didn't really feel very satisfied emotionally or physically with that relationship. I really don't condone cheating. I think it's a really bad thing, and fortunately I've never been cheated on before, so I don't really know how painful it feels.
Essentially, in this video, Daniel admits to theft, cheating, and lying, and I don't really care about the lying. Everybody lies, but he's a bit of a kleptomaniac by what I've heard in this video, and apparently a serial cheater as well. However, unlike any other video of this kind, he doesn't apologise for these things. He doesn't even say that they're wrong. In fact, he, if anything, justifies them. And I think that's the strangest thing about him. He, from what I can tell, genuinely believes that he can do no wrong.
Now, in my defence, the reason why I cheated was, like I said before, my needs weren't met, and I didn't really feel as though that relationship or those relationships were very important.
Tell me, Daniel, how does the inside of your arsehole look? Because you're incredibly far up it.
And those are some reasons why I'm not such a great human being, and I'm really sorry my face looks kind of oily today. It's because I haven't had a shower in 2 days. Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Cooking with Daniel.
Yes, that's right. This video actually finishes at 7 minutes and 32 seconds. However, instead of finishing the video there, he decides to stretch it to 12 minutes with some bizarre cooking segment, and from what I gather, he does this quite frequently. Whenever one of his videos doesn't hit 10 minutes, he just does cooking for the rest of the video. Like, okay, granted, it's not the worst way of stretching out a video, but still, what the hell is this channel? So, ladies and gentlemen, what can we say in summary about Daniel and the Hiding in My Room YouTube channel? Well, to start with Daniel, he's apparently borderline psychotic. He thinks he's great. In fact, he thinks he's better than he actually is, and his bloated ego is almost as high as his ridiculous standards. As for the Hiding in My Room YouTube channel itself, well, the content quality is appalling, and the subject matters of the videos are just as psychotic as him. Why someone would vlog their marriage falling apart, it still baffles me. These ridiculously high standards of Daniel's have also apparently led to him obsessing over women, relationships and love in general. Might I remind you that he's ranked all of his ex-girlfriends on a tier list. One of his Patreon rewards is just pictures of his ex-girlfriends, and on Instagram, up until very recently, he had a girlfriend application program. And if those three things alone aren't enough to convince you that this man is terrifying and insane, I don't know what will. Ladies, just run for the hills, to be honest. It's probably safer. That's everything I've got to say. I think I've made my points quite clear, and to be honest, I just don't want to look at this man's face for any longer than I have to. It actually terrifies me at this point, so I'm going to finish here, I think. Thanks very much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to throw me some support, a like, a subscribe, a share. Anything and everything you can do is massively appreciated. If you fancy hearing more of me outside of YouTube, you can go down to the description and you'll find my Twitter, my Discord server, and my subreddit. All three of them are basically just weird memes and bullying me. So if those sound like your kind of thing, I would highly recommend all three of them. Anyway, children, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to stop hiding in my room now and go outside. Thanks very much for watching. Be sure to smack that like button with your pimp cane, and I'll see you all in the next hecking video.